fasting, the healing benefits you're going to get from it, and the top 5 ways to do it. So fasting is one of the greatest, I always say it is the most ancient, inexpensive, and powerful healing strategy known to mankind. Fasting is absolutely incredible for our body. It allows our body to clean and repair itself. We stimulate this process of autophagy, where the body breaks down old, decaying cellular organelles and helps rebuild new healthy cellular organelles, new mitochondria, new endoplasmic reticulum. We rebuild new tissue. We break down older proteins. Obviously, for many people that are looking to lose weight, fasting is amazing for them. However, fasting can be a little bit challenging for a lot of people, especially when they first get started. And then there are other individuals who may be on medications or maybe very underweight that, fasting may not be like a water fast, a true water fast may not be the best strategy for them, at least in the beginning. And that's where partial fasting comes in. And partial fasting is something that has been done just like fasting. It's been something that's been done throughout the history of mankind, where you're consuming a lesser amount of calories than you normally would. And typically with a partial fast, you're consuming 50% or less of your basal metabolic rate, or your most people are going to need somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day. If you're larger, you may need more to just keep up with all of your typical metabolic functions, right? You're going to need a certain amount of calories, and the more active you are, the more calories you're going to need. Partial fast is going to drop that down under 50%, okay? And you're going to get more benefits even when you drop it down under 25%, okay? But a partial fast is basically you're taking in calories, but just a lot less than a normal fast. And so the most common ways that people will do partial fasting are bone broth fasting. It's really popular out there. Green juice fasting. A lot of people say, I'm going to go on a cleanse. I'm going to do 7 days. I'm just going to make juices. Okay. And I would typically recommend avoiding high sugar fruits and doing more green juices if you're going to do that. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. The fasting mimicking diet, which is a great program to do, fat or keto fasting, and then the Daniel fast out of the Bible. And so the advantages of partial fasting, again, it's easier, safer to do than water fasting. If you're taking certain medications that may cause issues with fasting, like, for example, corticosteroids or maybe seizure medications or something like that, which can cause issues with blood sugar, then doing a partial fast would be easier. If you're on medications that you're just not going to be able to get off of, and these are medications you need to take with meals, then you can still get a lot of the benefits of fasting by consuming a lower amount of calories doing one of these fasting strategies. Obviously, fasting is going to provide key nutrients, and it's going to lead to less weight loss. Typically, you'll lose less weight doing this than if you were doing the water fast. So those are all considerations to take in. And the bone broth fasting is a great strategy. I've used it with a lot of individuals with damage to their gut. And I do this with a lot of people who are very, very underweight because they can't absorb anything. And so we'll do the bone broth or collagen proteins, and doing good high quality bone broth like Kettle and Fire bone broth and homemade bone broth. And it's really good for providing amino acids that help to preserve lean body mass, as well as help restore and heal the gut, right? It takes the stress off the gut, but at the same time, it provides nutrients to help restore the gut. The other thing is bone broth has got a whole bunch of compounds from the bone marrow, and that's where we produce white blood cells, red blood cells. So consuming bone broth, great for the immune system, great for helping build a healthy white blood cell team, in a sense, to help keep inflammation under control, help your body get rid of pathogens, bad bacteria, parasites, yeast, candida, things like that. So bone broth can be amazing. It's a great strategy if you're going to go with a partial fast. Basically green juice fasting is great. So if you're going to do green juice fasting, this is what I recommend. You do cucumbers, celery, or bok choy. That will produce the juice, the actual liquid. Dark green leafy vegetables. So you can take your pick: kale, collard greens, watercress, spinach. Herbs, you can do ginger, turmeric, parsley, mint, cilantro, right? All great herbs to put in there. Low glycemic fruit, lemons, limes, green apples. They're definitely going to provide a little bit of sugar. So they'll sweeten it up a little bit. So don't do too many of those. But lemons and limes are great. They also will help produce juice, lots of vitamin C, bioflavonoids in there. You can also do seaweeds in there. You can do spirulina, chlorella, so some single cell algae, things like that. And that would be a great approach as well to doing a partial fast. And then you can get the fasting mimicking diet, which is basically, in a sense, it's basically all comes in a box, and you can get that right from Prolon is the company, and they've got a lot of research on it and how it reduces IGF-1, which high levels of IGF-1 for an adult, not for a child, but for a grown adult, can increase the risk of cancer. Fasting mimicking diet reduces inflammation. All these different great benefits from it. Stimulates autophagy. The full 5-day program. And you can do a modified version, like I have in an article on my website that talks about the fasting mimicking diet as well. So again, lots of great strategies. The general goal is you're reducing your calorie load by 50% or more. Okay. So if you normally would need 2,000 calories, you're going under 1,000 is the goal here, not for a long period of time. Typically 5 to 7 days, maybe a week, going with that low calorie diet. If you go too low calorie too long, you're going to end up with a lot of problems. You're going to end up suppressing all your sex hormones as well as thyroid function, and you're not going to feel good. So you don't want to do it too long. 7 days, I would say, roughly it should be max. And so keto or fat fasting, this is where you go basically just consuming mostly fat, 90% of your calories, if not more, coming from fat. So you're going to be doing avocados, butter, heavy whipping cream, MCT oil, olives or olive oil, coconut fats or beef tallow. These are all great sources. You can also use exogenous ketones. So a lot of people will kind of get started with fasting by doing something like this, where again, they take exogenous ketones or something like that. It's not technically a water fast when they do that. It's what we call a keto fast. And so it can really help somebody adapt into, give them the metabolic machinery to then move into a full water fast. But as you can see here, I give like a little sample. Do your coffee with your butter. A lot of people want their bulletproof coffee kind of thing, their fatty coffee in the morning. So they do that. And then you might do one other meal where it's like a big salad with avocado, olive oil, herbs, lemon juice. Okay. And then, if you feel lightheaded or something like that, maybe a little bit of exotic water. That's it. And, that can be very, very powerful as well. So disadvantages of partial fasting, you're certainly not going to get the level of autophagy that you would from a water fast. Okay. Now, again, don't let that discourage you. Don't let that say, well, if I can't do a water fast, I might as well not even do this altogether. I would definitely argue you don't have to be necessarily a purist. And I know there's a lot of people on YouTube and all over the place that are like, you have to just do the water fast, water only fasting, or dry fasting or something along those lines. No. This is about a lifestyle. I'm all about creating a lifestyle that's built around feast and famine, where you're taking periods of time where you're eating and you're eating a lot. And there's times where you're not eating or under eating. And if you can implement partial fasting, and you can take 5 to 7 days, let's say every 3 months, and do something like this, I think it'd be so powerful for your body. And so if you feel like the water fast is too intimidating, that's just fine. You're not a lesser person. Implement one of these partial fasts. I think you'll get incredible benefits from it. So again, though, to be honest, you're not going to get quite as much autophagy, obviously, as a water fast. Lower levels of human growth hormone and fat burning. So obviously water fast is going to get you higher levels of those, lower levels of stem cell production achieved. But again, still, you're making great progress and you're doing an amazing thing for your body by doing this. So hopefully this is very helpful for you guys. Hopefully you get a lot out of it. Would love to hear your questions, your comments. So go ahead and leave those. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do, so you can get all of my newest live streams and all of my top trainings and interviews that I do with other experts. And I'd be honored if you joined our community. So be blessed, everyone. We'll see you on a future online training.